penetration for Essendon.
Thanks, Paul. That's a mark.
So Stanton
goes back to Hocking. Well, they refuse to change things. Hurley this time unloads. Perhaps because he's a novice, he didn't do the right thing according to the coach. It goes out of bounds in the pocket. Interesting, the last 3 or 4 guys that had the footy there all looked short first, very short. And Gumbleton was one out in the square with Brown. Still to come. Well, they've got the Tigers in 4 weeks. Immediately when you see that graphic, you just look for the Tigers' face. Because Essendon not as short of beating anybody. It's out of bounds.
A month's a long time in footy. And so for Collingwood, well, Carlton next Sunday. I'll get a massive crowd for that, yep. Fremantle on a Friday night in Perth looks outstanding. Richo.
That was cheap as, Dennis.
Sorry, Richo.
Come on, mate. I'm getting rained on down here, and I've got to listen to that as well.
Is it raining down there, Richo?
Oh, yeah, it is, Tommy. Do you want to come down and join me, mate?
It's hot up here.
Hey, Richo, you know that's my stock and trade, the cheap shot.
Oh, no, mate. I'm getting sick of it, though.
I dined out on you for a couple of decades. I'm sorry, mate. I take it back.
All right. Just shout me a coffee after, can you?
I will. Monfries. Hurley. Around the outer side, in best position, Wellingham. Up comes Gumbleton, slipped over. That's the biggest plus this afternoon, Gumbleton, by a country mile. Collier, the look-away hand pass. Zaharakis lines up and kicks it behind.
Young Collier's only had the 13 possessions, but I've liked what he's actually done. He's provided a bit of spark. He's tried to bring the ball inside at every opportunity. So I think, along with Gumbleton, he's a positive for mine.
So O'Brien to half-back. Terrific one-on-one mark by Sidebottom.
Getting involved in the game. Trying to think about it. I wonder who might win the medal for the... I'm probably thinking Wellingham, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe because he's played better than you expect him to play. But I think he's a really good player from the very beginning.
Have a think, Tom. Richo and Tim, have a think. Who would you give the medal to? I'll ask you in a second. Out wide to Brown. Lee's going for Wellingham. So Brown on the left. Haven't seen a lot of him. Kicks to half forward. Fletcher on the up. Hooker. Stops and prospects. Can't get around. He's a smart player, Pendlebury. They've got some good decision makers, Collingwood, haven't they?
Yep.
And then Gumbleton's handball cut off by one of those good decision makers to another one. And Maxwell, who with a wet ball decides to go long to half forward. Monfries, a little one, Fletcher. And then Fletcher across the ground to Watson. And then Watson kick towards Collier. It was a good kick. Collier just dropping it. And trying to get the handball out. Swan's body strength a factor there.
26 possessions now for Swan. De ball. Beams. Forward of the wing. He could be a contender too as it goes down inside the forward 50. Medhurst. Whoever wins it will battle to match Medhurst's speech. Didak kicks a wonderful goal. Collingwood romping over the Bombers.
Just on the medal, is the medal strictly a best on ground, or is it a player who encapsulates the Anzac Day spirit?
I thought it was best on ground. I'm not sure who the voting panel is, but I mean it
is a bit of both.
It's very even. I mean, there's half a dozen Collingwood players who could figure in it, and one of them is this guy. He's been very good. I mean, his vision is totally 180 degrees.
Yeah, it is.
He can just see everything left and right. Great peripheral vision.
So Collingwood over 10 goals, close to the biggest margin ever on Anzac Day, which is 73. Over 90,000 people. And for one half, it's been a glorious afternoon, and for the other, a long day that went all wrong. Who do you reckon, Tim? Who would you give it to if you're picking the Anzac medalist?
Beams or Wellingham.
Yep, and for you, Richo?
Well, I'm obviously going to go for the forward, and I thought it was set up early by Travis Cloak.
So all good players for the Magpies today. They've had so many of them. And you do feel as if they're getting closer to that elusive flag, don't you, from 1990. And getting, they got deep into it again last year. You feel like they're even stronger this year. And maybe St Kilda with revolt situation brings them back. Geelong have been so good for so long that history tells you just can't keep doing it all the time. So Collingwood in the mix for sure.
Oh, wonderful courage given the scoreboard by Beams, and he hurt himself. Side bottom over the top. Hand pass from McCaffer. Side bottom very short, looking for Davis close to the boundary line. Still a live ball. Side bottom comes back. McCaffer. Heard the umpire. Thomas. Siren just seconds away. Thomas unloads. Off hands. Siren. Resounding. Embarrassing. Tough week coming up for Matthew Knights.